Visual Project by Abigail Eaton. The Social Security Act was put into place by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1935. This act was a piece of legislation that he and his committee created to include many of his policy ideas. There were various policies included in the Social Security Act that were beneficial to one specific group, the elderly. One of the programs in the Social Security Act that impacted the elderly was old age pensions. These pensions were a form of payments given to retired workers over the age of 65. Today, many people refer to their old age pensions as Social Security checks. This program was self-funded because beneficiaries were receiving monthly payments of the money they had paid in while working. Because of this, President Roosevelt was very fond of the idea of old age pensions. Another program within the Social Security Act that was for older persons in the United States was welfare assistance for the elderly. The Social Security Act made it possible for elderly people living in poverty to receive government assistance. This was important for them because more than likely they were not receiving old age pensions, so this was possibly their only source of income. Medicare, another program established under the Social Security Act, was government-subsidized health insurance for persons over 65 and certain younger people with disabilities. This program allowed the elderly to receive the medical care they needed, and it is still in place today, serving a large number of elderly Americans. In fact, more than 55 million Americans are covered by Medicare today. Since 1935, when the Social Security Act was created, the elderly population in the United States has increased dramatically. With this population growth, an increase in resources for the elderly has come about as well. Places such as nursing homes, senior citizen centers, and entire neighborhoods devoted to the elderly have become increasingly common. A large increase in the elderly population has also called for an increase of Social Security benefits. More and more senior citizens are reaping the benefits of Social Security each year. In general, elderly persons are a population that need assistance from those around them. The Social Security Act of 1935 allowed the government to assist persons over 65, both financially and medically. The programs that are still in use today because of the Social Security Act have supported resilience in many elderly Americans across the nations. As seen in the chart on the PowerPoint, over 14 million persons over ages 65 and over were lifted out of poverty because of Social Security, per the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities. The resilience for elderly Americans that is supported by the Social Security Act is unmatched by any other government-funded program. The programs under the Social Security Act that were created to support the elderly are still doing their jobs today. Although it is not a perfect piece of legislation, the Social Security Act has been beneficial overall to the elderly population of the United States and continues to be today.